My name is Daniel Fecher, and I am in the PhD in psychology program, and I have just finished my coursework and begun my dissertation.
What interested you about Meridian University specifically?
I think that when I was looking at universities, what stood out to me was the emphasis Meridian put on transformation. And I was thinking about it, and that I was looking for something that would be an intense experience, something where I'm going to look back and it wasn't, just a piece of paper that I acquired, but I wanted it to be something that I carried with me beyond my education there.
Absolutely. And for those who may be less familiar with transformative learning, how would you explain it to them maybe in a sentence or two? And why was that so important for you in a program?
Not only in transformative learning are you learning about the theories, but you're actually learning how a lot of these things play out in your own experiences. I would say application is the word that comes to mind with transformative learning.
And for you, I know you're starting the dissertation process now. Are you feeling ready for it? How does it feel at this point in your program to start? And how has it been so far being in the program?
I found the program to be really, it's been intense, that like going through the process of developing a research topic, but I have actually felt really well supported along the way, that the faculty, as much as the faculty can give direct guidance when it's called for, they also are really supportive and encouraging throughout the process. Developing a dissertation proposal is not a walk in the park, but I feel challenged and supported at the same time.
How has it been overall balancing your coursework with your life priorities with the online format? How has that been for you?
I find the online format to be helpful. I have to admit, it is a demand. The PhD program and the coursework is demanding, but there's also a lot of flexibility built in, that it's nice to show up for lectures, but on weeks that you can't, and you have to just use like the recorded lecture, that's a very convenient feature of the classes. But I have to admit, there is, as much time demand as there's a lot of balance with flexibility as well.
How has your experience been of interacting with faculty and other students in your program?
I've actually been really surprised that, I guess in a way I'm glad that like in a school where a lot of people are aspiring clinicians and therapists, that people would show a tremendous amount of empathy. But I am stunned by how seriously my colleagues take the work that we're doing in the program, and that when we do group activities, I am impressed by their professionalism and maturity that they bring. It's reassuring for me and also motivating. It makes me want to like bring my best, when I show up to like my group meetings, that I'm showing up, professionally and not, phoning it in.
What are your professional aspirations after Meridian, and how have they shifted during the program? Are you feeling prepared for them, or at least supported on your way?
Absolutely. So my goal is to become a licensed psychologist, and I'm doing my field work at the same time that I'm doing my dissertation, and I feel well prepared. One of the nicest things about going through the program at Meridian is that with like that first time you sit down with a client, you've already put in so much work in developing your communication skills. And as important as so knowing psychopathology and knowing a lot of theories, that's very valuable in the practice of therapy. But one of the most essential things in therapy or any kind of clinical work is the ability to talk, and especially to listen.
Are you in the part-time pacing? Are you doing standard pacing? Are you doing accelerated? And if so, how has the option that you've chosen working for you?
So I chose to do full-time. So I did a little over 3 years of coursework, and then started my dissertation clock. And what I would say is that it is a significant part of my life, that it's something that if you do the full time, that you need to make sure that you have the time to commit to it, but that in this very balanced way, the programs also offer flexibility. And the quarter system is nice, that you get some breathing room between quarters. And I find that the faculty have been understanding in cases where it's like, oh, I could use a little bit more time for this assignment. I I think that what I would tell people is be prepared to commit a lot of time to it, and you're going to get a lot out of it.
Over the last 3 years, would you say that being a Meridian student has changed how you see the world? And if so, how so?
I would say that Meridian's changed how I see the world, starting with how I understand myself and my own experience. That I feel like some of the most powerful things are like learning more of my own motivations, how I react to things, and I've noticed that it makes me much more deeply understanding of other people and what they're going through. Uh, I, I used to think, oh, I'm a very empathic person, but I feel like now uh, it's a different kind of empathy, and I feel a tremendous amount of compassion. And I like learning other people's stories, especially experiences with suffering, and I'm really able to like feel with them. For me, that's been very powerful. I'd say that it changes my, you know, I would say the way I think about other people is deepened.
If you were speaking to someone who is on the fence about Meridian right now, what would you say to them?
I would say if you're up for the challenge of doing a lot of exploration and deepening your understanding of yourself and a lot of other things in life, you should totally go for it. One aspect of Meridian that I like to trumpet to my friends and family, they've noticed my communication skills have changed, particularly my ability to listen really well. And I really reflected on it and looking at I was just like, well, what is it about Meridian? And that at the end of my program, I realized that I have spent, hundreds of hours talking and actively listening and trying to understand other people. And I feel like that is one of the treasures that, that's the in there in the secret sauce of what makes it transformative.